Good afternoon. This is Kasha with Arizona Home Consultants. I had so much fun with my new friends, Scott and Jeff, that we decided we needed to chat a little bit more. So in continuation of our previous conversation, Scott and Jeff are both involved with the Four Peaks Rotary Club of Fountain Hills. We've learned a lot about how they got involved and some of the things that they do, but we're going to continue chatting from there. I do have a question. Y'all both have pins on you have a couple of pins. You have two.
Two.
Jeff has more pieces of flair than I do.
He's got VIP flair.
That's
How do we tell me about your pins?
The pin is something that each of us receive upon our induction into the organization.
Okay.
And we are required to wear these pins 24 hours a day, 365 days per year.
True story.
Do they make special Rotary pajamas to accommodate your pins?
No.
I think we just came up with our next marketing idea.
Or maybe tattooing. We can tattoo.
There you go.
Let's not get carried away.
So this Rotary pin is more of a traditional shape and size Rotary pin.
Yeah.
This one I received from the district governor that you heard about earlier, Michelle Holcomb. This is the theme for the year, and it is the magic of Rotary. So this is kind of a one-year deal, and there are people who've been in the club for many years, and they have blazers with their entire lapel filled with pins.
Yes.
Pin collectors.
Pins are huge in Rotary. You ever notice how big pins are? Not the actual size of the pin, but how...
It's like patches in motorcycle clubs.
Very, very similar.
Pins are the patches of Rotary.
Yeah, and that pin, the magic of Rotary, so that's the theme. I think last time we were here, we talked about the district governor having a theme for the district. Well, we have a Rotary International president. Her name is Stephanie Yurchuk. And her theme for all of Rotary International, all 1.5 million, is the magic of Rotary, and that's really just what it is. It's the magic that happens when you get 1.5 million friends together. So that's I remember when we went to if you remember going to training last year in Los Angeles, there was an individual there who had a vest on, and I gave her a pin that I had received as a gift. And I said, this pin needs to go to this girl, and I gave it to her. And I remember saying, there's no room for this on your vest. You're gonna have to make room for this. But nonetheless, it was a pin that said the word "my," and then it had the red circle with the line going through it. And that was handed out to all of the leaders in our Rotary district here in Arizona, and that was to serve as a reminder that it's not my Rotary Club. It's not my project. It's our club, and it's our project, and we all have ownership to it, and we all have accountability to it. And
That's
so
beautiful.
that was one of her big things that she wanted to push this year.
I remember the lady who had that vest.
Yeah.
It had to be heavy to wear that
Oh
vest.
my gosh. And how do you wash it? It would take you 3 days just to take all the pins off of it.
Yeah, I think Girl Scouts maybe do something with
Not to that
pins.
scale.
No.
That was huge.
But that's what it reminded me of.
Yes.
Either a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout with all these pins
Good point.
of recognition. But I think for her, it may have been years of service or clubs that she has visited.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Because I want to say that she was from overseas.
I don't recall that.
I could be wrong too.
That's awesome. Has she visited us in Fountain Hills? You met her at the...
Oh.
No, we were at an event called the President-Elect Training Seminar.
Okay.
And it's a training for all incoming presidents. It happens generally in the first quarter of the year, and it happens in Los Angeles. And we effectively commandeer the Marriott Hotel right outside of LAX, and all of the incoming presidents for the clubs that are in Arizona, California, Nevada, Utah, and
Mexico?
I think Mexico.
New Mexico?
Or, excuse me, you're right, New Mexico. It's huge.
Wow.
It's like I said, we roll in and fill up an entire hotel. And that's where we had met this individual. But it's cool to get everybody together that has that similar common mindset. And getting back to the pin, that's why we're encouraged to wear the pin regularly. Because what we found is that you run into people not only in your community, but all around the world, wherever you travel, keep that pin on, because that is a way of identifying yourself to other Rotarians that are throughout the world. There's 1.5 million Rotarians, and I don't know, Jeff, have you met all of them yet or no?
No.
About halfway through?
Yeah. It's on my bucket list to meet each and every one of them.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, but it's called PET, so the President-Elect Training System?
Seminar.
Yeah. Is a way to geek out on Rotary. If you want to go all in, that is all
it's
in
pretty
on Rotary.
intense.
So I'm clearly seated with the right people because you both have geeked out on Rotary, and grateful for that. In terms of geeking out, when you're geeking out on Rotary in Fountain Hills, what are your favorite things that you're doing? In our last conversation, we talked about planting flags.
Yep.
That was awesome. Cleaning up the park. I think we touched on Oktoberfest. Tell me what else you guys do.
I've got a really good one that I'm thinking of. Do you mind if I take this one?
It's the same one I'm thinking of.
It might be the same one you're thinking of.
Go ahead.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Let's see if we're totally aligned on this one. So one of our members in our club is a great individual. His name is Dr. Kane Jagodinsky, and he is the superintendent of the Fountain Hills Unified School District. And since having Dr. Jagodinsky in our club, we have been able to partner and do more service for the school district.
That's awesome.
So one of our past presidents, Todd Harris, organized a project, and this was a fantastic project. We painted and got ready 2 full buildings over on the high school campus in preparation of moving the middle school over to the high school campus. And this project was not something that just our Four Peaks Rotary Club could have done.
It sounds huge.
It was huge. It was a massive undertaking. We ended up opening that event up to the community.
Okay.
And we got a number of other organizations. I think we had Kiwanis there.
I
think the Chamber of Commerce even
took
a couple rooms. I mean, we're talking probably a couple hundred people were there on a Saturday.
A Fountain Hills Army.
And we just got it done.
That's awesome.
In half a day.
Yeah. And there was other members, or not members, but other people just came from town because they heard about the event.
Right.
And anybody with a paintbrush could participate.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Skills not required, as we did discover.
Right.
Please tell me there was a skilled touch-up artist following.
There were skilled individuals, but everybody got assigned based upon their skill level.
Correct.
And now that I think about it, I think a skilled painter was assigned to each of the groups so that we couldn't mess it up too badly.
That's right.
Yeah.
I had Scott Schlossberg, and you have not lived until you see him cut a straight line with the paintbrush. So we had him go around the top and the bottom of the rooms, and we just did the rolling in between.
But the only way I'll paint.
Yeah, the only way I'll paint is by hiring somebody, but that's it. We'll save that one for another day. I can't stand painting, but that was an easy project to get behind. And then most recently for the school district, we spread 60 or 80 tons of gravel. Sounds like a lot, but Jeff, walk us through how'd that one go.
Well, that was pretty easy actually. At the end of the day, we had all this gravel. It was dropped in different places along the front of the school in preparation for the people that were going to come this weekend and rake it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that was another occasion where people from the town came.
Yep.
We had the seniors from the high school, or the high school football team.
The football team there.
The football team was there.
We had, I think one of the most exciting groups. I mean, exciting is not the right word. Active groups was the Elliott group.
Oh,
the sales training group.
Not surprising.
So I guess there's a shout out there to Andy Elliott and the guys and gals that he sent out there. They were pretty intense. They in particular spread that gravel really fast.
There's competition in sales.
Yes,
you
there
need
is.
to
Yes,
you need
there
to
is.
be at your peak.
But that was really cool, and just it's another example that there's power in numbers.
I think about just even a small yard work project and just the infinite number of hours it can take when there's one laborer, two laborers, not skilled laborers. And it's astounding to me to hear, one, how beautiful it is that you guys would organize, and two, how effective. And I imagine that saved the school district a tremendous amount of money.
Sure.
It did. And actually we had, I believe that the gravel was donated. I believe there was a developer in town that actually footed the bill. He prefers to kind of fly under the radar.
Yeah.
But it's. I think one of the coolest parts about these types of projects is that people they're always asking like, "Hey, when's the next one? When are we doing this again?" And it's like, "You guys just spread all this gravel, and you want to go do it again?"
It's
And they're like,
alarming.
yeah, we do.
Yeah, it's alarming.
It's not the work. It's
It
the
isn't.
people.
It's
being with the people.
Absolutely.
So-
I hated church growing up. I used to hide my Sunday shoes in my dad's Sunday shoes so I wouldn't have to go to church.
Oh.
But I would go to these service projects and I'd leave there entirely confused.
Yeah.
Because you're sweating, you're outside, you're among strangers, and yet for whatever reason, I was always kind of like, well, if church was a little more like this would be really cool.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Somebody in our club, our attorney, I'm not going to call him out because I think that I would probably get in trouble if I did. But he said that our Rotary Club is the perfect balance between a bar and a church. And I got to thinking about it, and I thought, that's a great way of putting it. So we like to have a good time, but at the end of the day, there's still a little bit of structure that we have to follow.
Cheers with a common beautiful
Right.
mission.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody knows your name,
Yep.
and you're doing something beautiful.
Yeah, 100%.
I love it.
That's an example of many hands makes for light work.
Yeah.
And we do that often. And it impresses me, surprises me every time it happens. When we jump on a project and you get 10, 15, 20 people involved, and I'm always stunned at the end of the project how well it went and how
Yes.
easy it was as a result.
Right.
I think one thing that's interesting about that as well is a lot of times you don't get to know people at the level you do until you're working alongside them. And all of a sudden you're doing something, a problem arises, and somebody says, "Oh, I can do this." And you're thinking, how long have I known you and I didn't know this about you?
Right.
And so it fleshes out people's talents, it fleshes out people's stories, it fleshes out people's hearts, and ultimately it connects a community.
You're 100% right. So we meet on a regular basis. We meet twice a month, and we sit around tables, and we have an organized meeting. It has a specific structure, a beginning, a middle, and an end with certain things that go on during the course of the meeting, and you don't really get to meet the person you're sitting with. You probably know them at some level already, but it's not until you do a service project side by side, shoulder to shoulder, that you get to know them, and who they are and what they are.
Yeah. I know some of those service projects generate funds for the club that then you take around and you support other organizations. You did one of those recently, am I right?
We did, and
It was Oktoberfest, right?
no,
Art fair.
the art fair.
Oh, the art fair. How could I forget?
And you were suggesting that we were going to be on the same page and we had the same favorite service project. But
Yeah,
I think
what was yours?
the
Trash.
trash day. Yeah.
Should we get trashy?
Every year we pick up trash for the two biannual craft fairs that are in town. One is held in November, one is held in February. And we are volunteers that set up the trash bins empty the trash bins during the show, and then at the end of the show, pick up the trash bins and clean up the avenue at the end of the event. We do that twice a year, and we do get reimbursed from the Chamber of Commerce. The Fountain Hills Chamber of Commerce runs the event, and they were in the past paying people to do what we do.
Okay.
And now we charge them less. They pay us less, and those funds then get turned around and distributed to needy organizations.
That's awesome.
And that's another one where the team comes
That's
into
right.
play. And my first trash day, I walked up and down. I was being trained how to do trash. It didn't need a lot of training.
Some
But-
people take it really seriously, though. It's like, I remember my first time, and they were showing me how to tie a knot in a garbage bag, and I thought this was just a typical, like, they were messing with me.
Oh.
I'm like, no, I'm comfortable tying a knot in a garbage bag. I'm
Well,
good, but thank you.
Now we've got a future podcast slated because I don't know that I know the appropriate.
Well, you're gonna.
Are you a teacher now? Are you certified to?
I'm forklift certified in the trash bag tying division. So sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
That's perfect. But that is something that we do from 9 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night for 3 consecutive days. And you partner up with different people on each of these days based upon your volunteerism time and their volunteerism time. And it's just great.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's a golf cart involved, right?
There are golf carts involved, yes.
Yeah.
We put the trash in the back of the golf carts and move them around and move the trash into dumpsters. I don't think we had any golf cart incidents this year, did we?
No, surprisingly. So what?
It's in the tabloid. It's in the Fountain Hills tabloid. No, I'm playing with you.
There was a cart that went missing this year.
Yeah, let's move on.
Is that a guilty?
No, I generally, if my kids don't have school, the November show is a little bit easier because it generally falls around Veterans Day. And my son did not have school, so I said, you know what, you're coming with me. And bad news for you, I signed up for the early morning shift, so even though it's your day off, you are getting up and you're coming with me, and you're picking up trash with me. And he said, okay. He goes, do they still have the golf carts? I said, yes. Can I drive the golf cart? And I said, well, you're 12. So yeah, I guess, why not? And so yeah, he enjoys going down there and driving the golf carts. And I try and make it fun so that it's something that he knows that in our household, service is something that we just do. We don't talk about it. We just do.
And I had to bring up the golf carts because the moment golf carts are involved, everything is fun.
Oh, heck
And,
yeah.
and you've got friends and you've got golf carts. Does it get any better than this?
Well,
You know?
I mean, what if we were to put friends and golf carts and golf clubs all together? What do you think we'd have then?
What would you have?
That sounds like a golf tournament, Scott.
That's kind of what it sounds like to me. Of course, we have to talk about that.
Please
Does
do.
the Rotary have a golf tournament?
The Rotary Club, Four Peaks Rotary Club, yes, it does have a golf tournament.
Really? When
You
is that?
Don't say.
I do. It's something we've been doing. How long have we been doing this now, Jeff? Maybe 20 years or so?
I don't know,
think.
Scott. I've only been here for 6.
Well, I've only been here for like 9, but I know it was going on for,
Maybe 20 years.
I think it is.
Okay.
I think it is.
Where is it held at the same location every year?
So for the last probably decade, it has.
Okay.
It's held on the third. Well, this year it's going to be in the 3rd or 4th week of March. Jeff,
March 24th.
March 24th.
It's always
Saturday
a Monday.
or
It's
Monday.
a Monday.
Okay.
It's a Monday, and it's going to. It's over at the Oncala Country Club in Scottsdale, which is off Via Linda, and it is a beautiful, beautiful, highly regarded course. Full disclosure, I am reckless with a golf club, so I don't. I have to go based off what others tell me, but others have shared that it is an absolutely beautiful course. But this tournament is actually it's our number one fundraiser for the Four Peaks Rotary Foundation, and we keep it affordable. And it comes with obviously a round of golf. It comes with a golf cart, and it comes with lunch, dinner, a presentation about what Rotary does. And it's a fun event. And we have, I would say probably half our golfers have been with us possibly since the beginning of the tournament. I mean, we have some serious longevity.
That's awesome.
In that, in fact, my dad's not a huge golfer, but he plays in that tournament, and he brings 3 of his buddies with him to play in that tournament.
It sounds like an awesome way to experience
It is.
Rotary
It
and
is.
really get like a,
Yep. Yeah, and it allows, kind of getting back to being able to effectively make a change for the better in somebody's life. You can literally do that while playing golf.
That makes everything better.
I mean, what could possibly be better? So all of the dollars that we raise at that particular tournament ultimately roll into our grant giving budget for the following Rotary year.
Okay.
And we have a established guideline, of 80% of the money that the Four Peaks Rotary Foundation raises goes back to local charities. And
Nice.
so the majority of these dollars are staying in Fountain Hills and Arizona. There are some that leave the state, but only 20% actually leaves the country.
Wow.
So, some of those organizations in Fountain Hills and the surrounding areas, Bob's Free Bikes, which is a fantastic organization that many are familiar with. Jeff, you had mentioned Raining Grace Ranch. Up in the foothills. Another great organization, Military Assistance Mission, the Rotary Vocational Fund of Arizona. So it's just, it's a great way for others to get involved and help us fulfill the mission of Rotary.
I love it. Absolutely. Are there other events that we should know about? Is there
For fundraising?
for involvement in general? It could be fundraising. It could be how you participate. What else do we need to know? What don't I know yet?
One of the things that Scott brings his kids to, because he insists that they volunteer, is Make a Difference Day. And Make a Difference Day takes place every year. I think it's around the country, but specifically in Fountain Hills. And because one of our former members was tied in tightly with the Fountain Hills Theater, we donate our time that day to the Fountain Hills Theater.
Oh, fun.
And every year on Make a Difference Day, we send a group of individuals who are able to help out, and we clear out their storage facilities, clean them out, and then put everything back in storage in some organized fashion. They have so many different shows in such a short period of time that when they're done with one set of sets, they just jam it into these storage lockers.
Oh, wow.
In a disorganized fashion, because they're getting ready for the next show and they're pulling those out. So again, on Make a Difference Day, there's 4 or 5 different lockers that we need to clear out. Scott brings his kids, and is Paige involved in that as a result?
So no, my daughter Paige, I think it just kind of happened coincidentally more than anything, but she had she went to a summer camp a number of years ago, and she apparently just struck a great relationship with the Fountain Hills Theater and ultimately got hired. So now she's a contract employee there, and she does lighting and audio for the theater. But that's one of the main reasons that I always have her coming, is like, hey, we are ultimately helping. We're helping you fulfill your mission also.
Yeah.
So
And Scott's not the only parent that brings their child
No.
to any of these service projects. And to me, it warms my heart that we're helping the next generation understand what service above self is, or what volunteerism is. And I think that's really important. And it's great when our Rotarians get involved like that.
We discussed this briefly when we were at lunch prior to this, and one of the things that is a global issue for service organizations right now is a lot of the people that are volunteering are there's a gap.
Yeah.
There's a gap.
Yeah.
And why do you think that is?
It's generational. I think the generation that is currently aging out was more accustomed to being involved and giving back. And there is that gap, and we're trying to fill that gap with younger members to our club, and hopefully they get more involved.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally, like, the most compelling reason that I can tell someone to get involved is that there's a level of joy.
Yeah.
You know, it's that intangible thing that we're all looking for. It's and life comes, and sometimes it comes hard, sometimes it hurts, and yet in those instances where you can take your eyes off yourself and your own circumstances, and you can come alongside other people and give, I don't know if there's anything better.
It's magical, to be honest with you. And
It's the magic of Rotary.
That's right.
It is.
And it was this phenomenon that you describe. It's very interesting. And truthfully, for the longest time, I thought that this was just a challenge within the United States. And recently, we had what's called a Rotary Friendship Exchange with a group of individuals from Australia. And when I was able to spend some time with them, I did ask them. I said, "Listen," I said, "here's what we're experiencing in America. Are you experiencing what has your experience been in Australia?" And they said, "Yeah." They said, "Absolutely. It's not just Australia. It's throughout Europe, Middle East, all of the Americas, not just North America, and it's a challenge." And I was speaking to an individual about Rotary and trying to get her to consider joining, and she asked me, she goes, "Scott, why do I have to join Rotary to give back? Why can't I just do it on my own?" And I was like, that's a really fair question, and I'm totally unprepared to answer that right now.
I love that honesty.
But let me get back to you. And I think that is what we're seeing in society right now is a lot of the younger generations, they want to be able to give back on their own, which I get. I totally respect that. However, last time we were together, I had mentioned that Rotary is that's an organization where you get to affect change as an individual here in your backyard. And we've been in projects where we put in wells in Africa that provide clean drinking water. I can't do that on my own. I think that's a big reason to get involved in these service organizations. And I don't know that there's ever been a service project where at the end of the project, I've been like, "Oh, this was awful. I don't want to ever do this again." And some of them have been somewhat laborious, right?
Absolutely.
And I've never gotten that feeling. And the difference is it's the people. It's the people that you're doing it with. And that is what Rotary has to offer.
It's something that can't be canned and packaged. It's
Correct.
something that can't be mail ordered and sent to your doorway.
Right.
And it's something that requires a little bit of risk, stepping out independently. Maybe you're blessed enough to have family members alongside you that you can go, but I think anyone who is not experiencing that on a regular basis, I cannot encourage them enough to take that step by themselves, with people that they're connected to, whatever it is. Like, go experience that high.
Right.
It's beautiful.
It's life-changing. It's been life-changing for me. This is I only have one regret about Rotary.
What's your regret?
My regret about Rotary is not getting involved sooner. I was pushing 40 when I got involved, and I was thinking, boy, if somebody had introduced this to me earlier, I would have been so much better off. The skills that you learn as part of being involved in Rotary are skills that you can use not only in your professional life, but in your personal life as well.
I love it.
Yeah, we use the phrase that we get to be
That's right.
in Rotary. We don't have to be in Rotary.
That's right.
We get to be in Rotary.
It's a
And
privilege,
It is a privilege.
for sure.
It has been a privilege sitting down with the two of you, getting to know you as we led up to this, and today, of course. Thank you so much for taking your time out of the middle of your workday and helping me learn more about Rotary, helping all of us learn more about Rotary. My hope for this is that people within our community and the larger communities at whole will just give it a shot.
That's right.
You know, just that's what we want for all of you, is give it a shot. If it's not Rotary, whatever civic organization touches your hearts, if it's pets, if it's kids, if it's in this country, in another country. 4 men in a room thought they were having a business networking meeting, and that mobilized 1.3
1.45.
1.45. Yeah, quite a few.
million people.
Yeah.
And so
Pretty amazing.
yeah, you never know what you can do. You never know what stepping out of your comfort zone for one day and serving one person can turn into. So we just, all three of us, collectively plead with you, step up, serve, and try this high. It's beautiful.
100%. Thanks for having us, Kasha.
Thank you
Kasha.
so much. Thank you for being here.